Hi guys, this is going to be my last video for tonight. I'm going pretty hard and it's almost time to shut her down. But, so anyway, this video here is about standing up for yourself while working the service rigs as a roughneck, beginning roughneck. So, your first week working at, like, joining any rig in Alberta or wherever you're at, you know, I'm speaking of Alberta right now. So I kind of, like, before, like, do your research, right? Like, I'm telling you this video right here, but on this video right here, but like, do your research on it, like, you know, kind of, because that's what I did. Like, I kind of looked up, like, you know, certain things about rigs and how they, you know, kind of get you, you know, just to see if, you know, you're man enough for the job, I'll say, you know, and that meaning that, you know, you can handle the work, right, and then, you know, of course, the other thing is you know, you know, they expect you not to be an idiot and not show up drunk or high or whatever, right? Now I'll get into what I was talking about. So they tried all sorts of different shit. Like, this is like I'm not naming the company because I don't want to dox them. That's not right. So you know, they'll start with a lot of different tactics that they'll use on you, right? Like, number one, they'll ask you if you drink or do whatever after work, right? And I, of course, said absolutely not, right? I didn't even bring up the fact that I smoke, you know, the lettuce once in a while. And that is because I also kind of researched about that too. And you know, there was a lot of people commenting, you know, about the fact that, you know, if you do smoke lettuce, like, don't make it your, you know, big thing to, you know, oh yeah, you know, I do that and blah 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 and whatever, right? Keep your mouth shut, as Tony Soprano once said. Keep that shit to yourself. The reason is because you don't want to give anybody any sort of leverage on you. And what I mean by leverage is, you know, like, you're working away and they deem that you did something unsafe, or you fell, or whatever it might be, and you told them that you smoke weed. You know, that's not going to be good in your favor. So, but I'm gonna tell you about standing up for yourself right now. So anyway, so I'm doing my thing there one day, right? Like, it was my birthday. You know, I was already kind of, well, I wouldn't say I was on edge, but I was, you know, like, kind of wanting to celebrate my birthday away from the, you know, the stress of, you know, being on the rig and stuff. So we had, like, it was a sour sight, and what I mean by a sour sight is there was H2S present, right? That could, you know, come up out of the well or the hole anytime. So we had an air hand on site, and he was a fat guy, and he always liked to run his mouth, and, you know, and if anybody that's, you know, that happens to tune into my video that, you know, has worked on the service rigs for a lot of years, or Alberta oil industry, you know, you'll run into guys like that, like, kind of make it their business to kind of, you know, ruffle their feathers, you know, like a peacock. Anyway, so this is the guy I had problems with. You know, I was fortunate enough that, you know, like, I was doing the swinger lifestyle back in the day, and I had lots of stories, right? So the consultant, of course, you know, they, you know, lived their life precariously through mine. So I was very, you know, very, very good with this consultant. He liked me, right? Which is something you also want to do, and that'll be for another video, you know, about, you know, warming up to the consultant, you know. Anyway,
So he starts in on me about something, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was, now I remember. And people, like, that's another thing, too, is, like, if you're a beginning roughneck or whatever, like, beginning hand of any kind in the, oil industry, you're going to have people try shit with you. And now, here's where I come to the next thing, where when it comes to yelling, there's two different types of yelling, okay? The number one type of yelling is they yell at you from across, the job site, and they say, look, bring this or do this, whatever. That's one type of yelling, okay? The number two type of yelling is when you're getting personal and it comes to the point where you come to blows, okay? So, he starts in on me, right? Like, and he's about, I don't know, probably about a 50, 60-year-old man, working as an air hand still. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not making fun of him for that. I'm not, because you got to work, like, and if, and especially if you can't retire yet, right? So I'm not dissing him for that. But anyway, I'll get into what he said. So he goes, "Oh, you're 38. What are you doing on the rigs for? Blah blah blah." And I said, "Oh yeah, I might be 38, but I kind of let him know, I've done Taekwondo for close to 10 plus years, and I'm, in very good shape, and everybody else could see that too. It's just this guy, he, like I said, he made it his business to get down my skin, right? So anyway, and then he starts talking shit about my mother, my current girlfriend, and of course he didn't know either two of them, right? But here's the thing, I'm 5'8", soaking wet. All these guys around are, I've been in the industry 10 to 15 years, and I ain't never been to jail before, and I had never planned on doing that, obviously. But I kind of found that, with all the media that I've seen about jail and all that, and how people are towards you and all that, the rigs are kind of, like, the first couple of weeks for a guy is kind of like you just went to prison, right? Everybody's razzing you, calling you whatever. And it wasn't really necessarily that everybody was razzing me. It's just that, I was, any situation that you step into and you don't really know the people and all that, but you work with them every day and all that shit, like, it's a little fucked up, especially when you're way out in the middle of nowhere. And actually, to be quite honest with you, I was really worried that somebody would try, to fucking assault me, right? I'll tell you why. Because, the anger that goes along with that job is fucking crazy, okay? Like, when you're asked to, like, I stepped up my game every fucking day that I did, the rigs, right? Like, I swung my hammer harder, I did everything fucking harder, everything I could do. I always kept busy, right? But anyway, so with this guy, he started doing that shit, blah, 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 and I counted to 10 in my head, and I thought, yeah, no, this guy ain't fucking worth it, right? You know what I mean? But anyway, I finally came to blows with him, and I said, look, and I fucking stood right up close to him, and I said, look, buddy, I said, I don't mind that you beak at me about the way I'm working, but I will not put up with you fucking saying shit about my family or my current girlfriend. So anyway, I let him know that shit. The consultant kind of saw that, that I kind of, wanted to pummel him. And I didn't threaten him or nothing like that, but I did want to pummel him. I did. I'm not going to lie. But here's the thing. I'll show you why I didn't pummel him. That's why I didn't fucking pummel him right there. Because I got a lot of other things that are way more important than beating up a 55-year-old air hand that, is divorced and whatever the fuck, right? So anyways, what I tell you all to those beginning roughnecks or any, any sort of, job that you do, okay? You don't have to say that you're going to beat the guy up or this or that, but you can say it in such a way where you let him know, look, you know, I'm here to work, I'm here to do a job like everybody else, but I'm not going to let you fuck with me. And that's just it. So, anyway, that's the advice I have for to the beginning roughnecks out there, the beginner roughnecks out there in the industry. It's fucking hard out there for anybody that's starting out on any sort of fucking job, right? What you really want to do when it comes to this chippiness and this bullshit that you deal with, you know, on a daily basis, is you just want to be better than that, right? Like, I always, like, what I did is and this is just my shit, I mean, everybody's going to be different with the way they deal with things, right? You know, I just talked to myself in my mind and just kept my mind strong and tough and just said to myself, look, you know, I'm going to work my ass off today. I'm not going to let people fuck with me and all that shit. So anyway, you know, you have that in mind, you'll be okay. So anyway, I'm gonna have one more story before I end this video. So there's a roughneck that I worked with there. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was a short little fat fucker. They called him Farva, is what they called him. You know, he taught me a lot of shit. I'll give him credit for that. He was buddies with the driller, so I knew that, you know, I couldn't just get along with one or the other. I had to get along with both of them, and I did, right? But anyway, one day he stepped out of line a little bit too far, right? You know, like my former roommate once said, you know, the way these guys will put things is kind of fucked up sometimes, but you gotta you can't take it personally. Like, you have to understand the good and what they're trying to fucking do, because you don't know all the hazards, and I knew that myself, right? Like I knew that, you know, I wasn't going to be that guy that was like, oh, fuck, you know, like, I know what, like, I'm fine, I know all the hazards and all that shit. No, I absolutely didn't. But the way this guy kind of brought up shit was a little fucked up at times. So anyway, I'm trying to remember the task that we were doing. We were taking off the horse's head, and that's the pump jack goes up and down, and then the fucking thing at the end of it there is, that's what they call it, the horse's head, right? So the thing that goes up and down. So anyways, I wasn't standing under it. I know not to stand under a fucking suspended load, and that's, you know, I'm giving you my story on it. And you know, like, and I'll tell you straight up, I've seen fucking stuff in the air, like the sling break or the chain break, and the fucking thing falls. So there's no fucking way I was gonna stand under that thing, and I wasn't, right? So anyways, Farva, you know, tries to tell me that, and you know, he was on me all fucking day, like always, right? And I was just getting tired of it, you know what I mean? So anyway, he goes, oh, I don't want to fucking clean up blood today. And then I looked at him and I said, dude, I said, you can tell me all about work and the fucking hazards and all that shit. And you know what, like, you know, some people might think, well, you took that a little too personally and all that, but, you know, from my perspective, if you were me and you were going through it all day with this asshole, I mean, and he, you know, he's an asshole. I mean, I admit, you know, he is an asshole, and they're not all assholes. I had people that were very nice to me too, but the way he said shit sometimes to me, I just did not fucking, you know, I think what he did was he said something along the lines of, oh, I don't want to clean up blood today, and I don't want to fucking go tell your girlfriend that you're gone, or your fucking mother, blah, blah, blah. So he, you know, I saw the good in it in the sense that, okay, this guy just doesn't want me to fucking die because he's seen people die, right? Maybe he has, right? But at the same token, like, he kind of stepped it a little bit too far, talking about my mother and my girlfriend, so I had to fucking put him in his place too. And I said, hey, I said, you can tell me about work and all that, buddy, but you don't fucking bring up my girlfriend or my mother. You got that? Okay. And he was kind of surprised because I never said fucking nothing to him all day, right? But I did at that point. And, but yeah. Like I said, guys, I'm going to end this video here. It's been about 15 minutes. But yeah, like, 3 things, okay? Number 1, when you're standing up for yourself, don't fucking threaten people, don't fucking whatever, because you could get your ass kicked by everybody, right? You know, and that's one thing you gotta realize. You're way the fuck out in the middle of nowhere, right? Number 2, when somebody fucking steps to you and crosses the line, stand up for yourself, okay? Number 3, stay to yourself. Don't talk about drinking. Don't talk about, you know, anything else that you do after work, because that ties into the fucking confrontations that you might get into once in a while, you know, because then they have fucking something to use against you. But anyways, here's the end of this story. I respect everybody in the oil patch industry. A lot of people have an attitude there, but people have an attitude everywhere else too. But I was just happy to get that off my bucket list and go in there as a, you know, 39-year-old man and, you know, fucking work and not, you know, be misconstrued about anything I had to do. Like, I was able to do it, right? So anyway, guys, that's all I got to say. Much love. See ya.